1. How's it going, guys? We're back for another SBT match in the A-League where we have Huntah, who just left, by the way. I'm sure he's going to come back. Maybe his internet kind of just crapped out there. And we have Jaro against him. And I'm not alone here. We have Gene with us.
Hey, how's it going?
Although he might be kind of sick, he still wants to, join us for this match. And we'll see what we got here. So it looks like Jaro brought his Skarmory, Nidoking, his Tapu Koko, Mamoswine, Pangoro, and his Snorlax. So we don't see the Mega Sceptile this time. And Huntah brought his Scolipede, his Empoleon, Scrafty, Porygon 2, Mega Latios, and Rotom Heat. So what do you think of this match, Gene? Who are you expecting to have the upper hand?
Well, you gotta look at Mega Lati all the time.
Yeah, for sure.
Right here looks okay still, but Jaro's got some answers for it. So
yeah, the matchup isn't too bad for Jaro when it comes to the Mega Lati. Like Pangoro is a thing because Mega Lati doesn't get like fairy type moves or anything.
Yeah, even Snorlax if it's
Snorlax is very bulky.
Yeah.
And Tapu Koko is obviously faster, and Nidoking could be Scarf. I am expecting Nidoking to be Scarf. I don't know.
Yeah, you also got the Mamo Ice Shard if something happens.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Lottie could just be Wall Breaker this time around because like Skarmory is a thing. And looks like.
I'd like to see maybe a Scarf Mamo here. Might be a thing.
Scarf Mammo could be possibility, but like I think you'd rather have access to Life Orb Ice Shard so that it can revenge Lottie. But I mean, Scarf.
Either that or Scarf
Icicle Crash is always good too, right?
That's definitely spit off.
Yeah.
Snorlax.
So it looks like, or it could be like Thick Fat or something. I didn't see. Did he have an
item?
Yeah,
true.
But he'd probably be Gluttony if he didn't show an item. He's probably like the 50% berry.
Yeah, we didn't see the item yet.
Yeah. So it looks like Huntah just wanted to go straight on the offense there. He didn't want Jaro setting up hazards. Although Jaro could have easily have set up some rocks there and got down to Sturdy.
Yeah. But Jaro needs to watch out for that Scolipede. That Scolipede is pretty dangerous.
Scolipede in the late game is very scary if he's if he's just Life Orb or Z move. Although it's tough because I think Huntah really wants to beat that Skarmory because Scolipede can't really do much to Skarmory.
Yeah, if Huntah takes out that Skarmory, he's looking in good shape with Scolipede.
Yeah, he could definitely do some work with that Scolipede. Like Scolipede could have Earthquake here. He could have like Superpower for the Snorlax or something like that. But Scolipede,
I can pretty much see Earthquake and Poison Jab.
I could see
Swords Dance and Protect. I don't know.
I'm not sure if he really needs like bug coverage. I see like Earthquake, Poison Jab, and Superpower maybe. Or Swords Dance, like you said, like Swords Dance. He could be like Focus Sash, but he would have led that if that was the case. I don't think because it doesn't look like Huntah. He brought his Empoleon, so I think the Empoleon is definitely going to be his defensive backbone in this match. We see the Toxic there.
Defog, of course.
So I think this Snorlax might actually just be Thick Fat. I'm not too sure though because Toxic Snorlax. It just means that he's not like Curse or something like that. I don't think he has room for Cycle.
I think Huntah is. We did see Intimidate, so maybe he said.
He's probably Shed Skin, right?
Shed Skin with maybe we'll see a Dragon Dance here.
We could see a Dragon Dance, and this is gonna scare out the Snorlax for sure. So. Yeah, there's the Dragon Dance, and this thing is probably not going to outspeed even after a +1.
And there's the Shed Skin.
There's the Shed Skin. So Coco
probably still doesn't kill though. Maybe with a D-Gleam, I don't know.
I think a D-Gleam would kill. It depends what this Tapu Koko is, if it's especially offensive with Life Orb or Specs or something like that. Specs would be very nice against Huntah's team. I mean, I could see the Rotom coming in, or the Empoleon. We could see a U-turn from Tapu Koko right now,
Yeah,
because
maybe.
like obviously Porygon 2 is a nice switch into especially offensive
Or
Tapu Koko.
if Huntah thinks he can live a hit here and go +2, that's dangerous.
Yeah, it's pretty like he could risk it, but he might need this Scrafty to take on something like the Mamoswine or the Snorlax or even the Pangoro. It's very nice against Jaro's team, so maybe he wants to save it. And Jaro could predict that and just go for a Volt Switch or a U-turn right here. I think Jaro might even be physical with this Tapu Koko. Okay, so we see the reducing berry.
Oh, there you go.
Oh,
Poison jab,
okay,
yeah.
not a bad play, not a bad play, but that did a lot of damage to Scrafty even after the berry. So
Yeah,
that was,
but I think Huntah is happy with that
yeah, for
trade.
sure, that
Scrafty
trade.
for Coco, yeah.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, it's not like Jar really needed Tapu Koko. Maybe for the Latias, because it looks like that was Specs. That did a lot of damage even after the berry. I don't
Let me
know.
go
I
fucking.
could be wrong. But we could see an Ice Shard right now. Again, Hunty could save this if he wants to. He can go into the Rotom, or he can go into Porygon.
Yeah. No, that was just a modest hit.
Did you count
Modest
that?
actually. Yeah, I did.
Okay. All right. So yeah, and we do see the Life Orb on Mamoswine. So if Hunter wants, he can just go into Rotom or something. I really think Hunter might have wanted to keep Scrafty alive. Yeah, I get that he wanted to take out the Tapu Koko, but Scrafty would have been very nice against the Mamoswine, the Pangoro, and the Snorlax.
Yeah,
So
yeah, Scrafty has a good matchup, but I still think he's pretty happy with that trade.
yeah, he's probably happy with that. I think Hunter was trying to use that Scrafty as a kind of a wall breaker in a sense, and I don't, because Jar didn't bring too many walls this match. He probably didn't need Scrafty in the late game. Like he
Yeah.
Scrafty wasn't beating Skarmory anyways. Maybe if he had like Fire Punch or something.
But to
Yeah,
me, it's just like one more threat that Mega Latias doesn't have to deal with.
that's true. Um, yeah, Latias would have had
Yeah,
trouble.
his win con is obviously Mega Latias now,
Yeah, it looks
especially with
like
the
it.
Coco out. Yeah.
Well, I think Scolipede looks better, but Megalodios is definitely uh because Megalodios still needs the Scrafty broken down unless he has like Thunderbolt on him. Because
Yeah.
Pangoro still
Yeah,
doesn't get.
Skarm is yeah.
I like Pangoro could be Assault Vest or something,
Yeah, that too.
or just
Yeah,
Banded
there's still some work to be done for Mega
for
Latias sweep here.
Megalodi to start going. Like Nidoking could be Scarf. So we could see Snorlax come back in here.
I think a Willow comes out of with the Rotom Heat here.
Willow would make a lot of sense here. Unless Huntah didn't creep this Mamoswine, but Jaro probably didn't want to risk that.
Just straight overheat, alright.
Just an overheat. Oh, so he was actually the Gluttony berry set. We
Yeah,
could see
yeah,
a
but,
recycle then. We could
so
see
what
a
do you think?
recycle.
Recycle Curse, Toxic, Body Slam?
Could be. We could actually just see a Toxic here. I mean, unless Empoleon. I think Empoleon might want to come in and set up rocks. That could make sense, but
Yeah, that's probably a better play. Yeah.
Jaro doesn't really get hit too hard by rocks. Like rocks don't do too much for Huntah in this match.
Well, it does bring the sturdy on
On Skarmory.
Skarm. Yeah.
Yeah. P2. Okay, so we see the Gluttony there. Toxic would have been the more offensive play, but a recycle makes a lot of sense, obviously, if
Yeah,
something like the Scolipede or the Megalotti came in. But
it's just the toxic was free there. I find
I think Toxic
this
was the most free.
cycle might have been a misplay here.
Yeah. But, like this Porygon 2 needs to get broken down. If Jaro wants to bring in the Pangoro, I think he might want to save the Pangoro, but Toxicking this Porygon 2 would be amazing for Jaro.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I don't think he wants to switch. I think he just goes for the Toxic. Because risking like an Ice Beam or something on anything else doesn't make too sense. And if the worst thing this Porygon can do to Snorlax is probably Toxic himself.
Yeah, I might see a double here in Polion or
Okay,
just
so we do
toxic.
see the Toxic. I guess either Jaro wants to just parting shot out or just go for a big knockoff. He might think that going for a knockoff is the better play. Actually, a banded knockoff is hard for Hunter to switch into.
Yeah, he doesn't have any switches to this right now, actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not too sure what Hunter wants to do here. He could just
I mean,
recover.
Scolipede could be a switch in. I don't know.
He could. I think Jar really I don't think he cares too much about the damage this Pangoro is going to take. Although I think it would have been really nice to keep him alive for the Lottie. But getting a free knockoff
sure.
right here.
Yeah, knockoff is free here, totally.
If he wants to even parting shot out, but there's the knockoff. It doesn't do that much, honestly.
It's not banded.
It's not banded, yeah. And he actually outsped, so well, I mean this Porygon probably
calculate real quick.
Porygon probably doesn't have any speed, but maybe he's something like Z move, like he might be like Z parting shot, right? We could see a parting shot right here.
Actually, 31 no. He's probably just adamant.
Yeah.
Or something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I'm guessing we're gonna see a parting shot right here. If not, I don't think he wants to Sword Stance at this point.
All I know is definitely not banded.
Yeah, so there's the parting shot. Makes a lot of sense. Mamoswine might want to come in, or the Nidoking if it's Scarf. But then that's kind of revealing that Nidoking is Scarf, so Mamoswine might be the better play.
Well, with the -1 special attack, you could see Snorlax coming in also.
Snorlax could, but I think it's like the Snorlax just brings in the Porygon again, right? So Snorlax could also just bring in the Scolipede. So I have a feeling maybe he wants. I think Jaro's just trying to break down Huntah's walls right here. So bringing in something like the Nidoking or the Mamoswine is the more offensive play. But if he wants to be safer, I guess Snorlax is another play he could make. He could also scout out this Latias' set, because if he doesn't have Thunderbolt, then it's hard for him to hit the Skarmory.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll see. If Jar wants to keep the pressure on, he's been doing a good job just keeping the pressure on. It's just Huntah had a very nice play there with the Scrafty, and that kind of got rid of the Tapu Koko on Jaro's end. So Mammoth does come in, and we could see just a big Iso Crash right here. Obviously, this brings in the Rotom. So
yeah, he could maybe Jaro can predict here and go for a Rock Slide or Stone Edge. Or...
yeah, he could go for a Stone Edge, which makes a lot of sense. It would just mean that maybe Empoleon comes in instead. I could see.
Or maybe just go for rocks. Maybe
he could go for rocks. I kind of assume that Skarmory has rocks though.
Yeah, fair enough. You let it with it. Yeah.
Um, Porygon or Empoleon might want to come in here. I think maybe Hunt is too afraid of the predicted Stone Edge to bring into the Rotom, but he could bring it in.
I think Empoleon comes in here.
I think the Rotom might be Scarf, if I had to guess. It's just whenever
Yeah,
it
he's
comes
playing like it is there. Yeah.
when, whenever it comes in, it just keeps going for Overheat, and Jar doesn't really have the best switch into that, but it's like Snorlax is still a nice switch into to an Overheat.
Yeah, Overheat doesn't do much to Snorlax. 28%,
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Yep. Hunt is in a it's kind of
He's
hard
in.
for
He's
him
on
to.
the back foot right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it looks like Jar wants to kind of still scout out Hunt's sets a little bit more. He went for the Iso Crush to
Yeah.
see how much it would do. Maybe and
Yeah. That
now
looks like
it looks like an
an
offensive
offensive.
Rotom, right?
Yeah.
So we do see the
Oh, there's
trick.
a trick.
So it was actually Scarf. So very nice play on Hunter's
Yeah.
part. He
Very.
actually predicted the Snorlax to come back in. That kind of cripples the Snorlax a little bit because now it can't recover. Well, it's still very bulky. So
Yeah. Well, I'm interested to see what his last move is now.
the thing is
Does
now
he?
he can't
Yeah.
freely just go for Toxic, right? Because Empoleon could easily come in and I think Empoleon wants to come in here. We could see just a Body Slam. A Body Slam makes a lot of sense.
And Rotami got the nice Yapapa.
Exactly.
But
So,
if he's minus attack nature, I think that's a confusion though.
oh, I actually don't know about that, but nice call on that. You could be right. He could be something like
Yeah, let me
modest
go see it. I'll
or
go check it
timid.
out.
Yeah. Seismic was an interesting play on Jaro's end there. I think still like Body Slam is the stronger play if he was cursed, but since he's Seismic
Yeah,
I'm guessing he's not set up at all.
he's probably not cursed. And I was wrong. Yapapa is the only confuses if you're minus defense nature.
Ah, okay. So that's probably not what Rotom is.
That's yeah, you'll probably be fine.
All right, so nice predictions on both ends there. Huntah obviously wanted to go on the offense now that he saw that Jaro's locked into Seismic. And that probably means that this Latios has recover because he probably didn't want to just kind of go there. So there's the
Yeah, mostly
Seismic.
see it toxic here, so maybe see a sub from Huntah.
I think we could actually just see a sub or just a switch into Empoleon again. But we could just see the Scolipede come in here. It's just if Huntah
Yeah.
lets his team get worn down too much, like
Is maybe he'll risk the roll. Yeah,
Scolipede does
switch
come in,
up.
and very nice prediction. You can predict the Toxic coming in there.
Yeah, that's a free source dance right there.
Yeah, that was a pretty risky play on Jaro's end. Maybe a double into something like Mammo would have been nice there.
Yeah, that was really predictable.
hmm But now we probably see either a Swords Dance here. A Swords Dance is very free, and this is going to be
Oh yeah,
kind of
that's
bad.
dangerous. Yeah.
The thing is that Skarmory is still around, so Jar's doing a good job keeping that Skarmory in the back so that he doesn't get swept by Scolipede or the Latias. I still think a Z move from this Scolipede at +2 is going to do a lot of damage to Skarmory. So
And maybe like a rock slide or something. Maybe.
yeah, but Skarmory has to come in right here. So we do see the superpower, and it's interesting that Huntah didn't want to set up there, but maybe he doesn't have the Swords Dance, because I think a Swords Dance was pretty free. So we see the rocks finally come up. This Rotom could still have Defog, and it's obviously threatening out this Skarmory, and I'm not sure about that damage to the Skarmory. The Skarmory could be more physically defensive.
Yeah. Well, I think the hazard controller on Napoleon for Huntah.
Yeah, you're probably right there. Since this was Scarf, I don't exactly know what other coverage Huntah would need on this Rotom to kind of take on Jaro's team, because an overheat hits everything. So we do see the Volt Switch there, and now Empoleon might want to defog here.
I think we see Empoleon coming in right now.
Now, so Latias actually comes in. Maybe he does have the sub or the refresh, like you were talking about. Again, if he has the sub or the refresh, he can't really hit the Skarmory too hard.
I'm interested to see what Snorlax's last move is.
You're right. It could be Earthquake for the for the Empoleon.
Yeah, it could be.
So Jaro is in a bit of a bind here, but thing is that Skarmory can't. So he did predict the switch into the Skarmory, and there's a full
Oh,
parallel,
that's
which is
rough.
very
Yeah.
unfortunate there. He could have got a Toxic off. But we did see the Thunderbolt from the Latias, so it does look like Huntah's just trying to break down Jaro's team with the Latias, because if he has coverage for the Skarmory, it might be bad for Jaro to switch into this now.
Well, like you said, maybe Needle King is Scarf, so we'll have to see.
We'll have to see about that. It could be Scarf, but even a Scarf Nidoking, I'm not sure how much it's going to be doing to this Latias, depending on its
Yeah, Ice Beam, I don't know.
Depending on its spread. Now, if Jaro is actually physical Nidoking with Mega Horn, it could actually be doing some damage.
Yeah, maybe.
I would expect the Nidoking to be physical here. Physical Scarf could do some damage to Huntah's team. But that paralysis was pretty big on Jaro's end. He could have got a Toxic off.
That's game changer, yeah.
And now that we saw the Thunderbolt,
we pretty much Huntah was on the back foot the whole game.
Mm-hmm.
That changes it, yeah.
A Thunderbolt paralysis into a full paralysis. I think it's only like a 5% chance or something, but
yeah, it's a small. Yeah, it's a small percent. Yeah.
It's hard for Jaro now because he kind of has to reveal that his Nidoking might be Scarf, but I think Huntah was kind of thinking that he would be Scarf the entire time, and if he's anything special, and that Porygon 2 is fully specially defensive, then it's going to be hard for Jaro to break the rest of Huntah's team. Mamoswine actually comes back in here. Maybe he thinks that he can live a hit from this Latias. If he has Surf or Draco Meteor, it could be doing a lot of damage.
I don't know how much Life Orb Ice Shard does here.
I'm expecting it to do about 50, but the thing is that it's not going to KO, and but Jaro might think that damage is necessary for Nidoking to revenge after. Thing is that this Latias can still recover on the Skarmory, so
I think we're gonna see Icicle Crash here.
We're definitely gonna see an Icicle Crash because it's gonna do a lot of damage to the Rotom after Rocks, anyways. But P2 comes back in here, so we actually see the Ice Shard instead. I guess.
I think that was a misclick. Yeah.
Maybe it was a misclick there. I like that Huntah traced the Thick Fat so that Ice Shard does even less damage.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. I don't know. Jaro had the upper hand early. I think he made 2 moves that really cost him the match.
Yeah, he lost some momentum with Snorlax getting paralyzed as well. But Huntah actually making the very powerful plays in predicting predicting Jaro to go into Skarmory, and actually getting rid of Tapu Koko, like you said early on, was very necessary for Huntah.
I
Not
think it's when we saw the when you went for recycle on the P2 switching,
Yeah,
and the toxic was
Toxic
just
would have
really
been
free. Yeah,
just very nice there. And we do see a double, and this could be close. I don't think Lottie can KO this Pangoro. I think this Pangoro is Z move.
and maybe Thunderbolt will be close. Maybe.
Yeah. Pangoro is not too bulky, but he does have a lot of HP.
I
If
think we see a knockoff here.
we could. I don't think it's gonna be doing too much. I think if he has the Z move, we could see it here, like a Z
Yeah,
crunch.
maybe. Yeah.
Either like a Z crunch or just a Z parting shot. Thing is that
Well, nothing else is low really.
yeah, Mamoswine maybe.
Yeah, this doesn't look good at all for Jaro right now.
Okay, so Hunter doesn't want to risk it. He just goes into his Porygon instead and takes the
There's a
knockoff.
knockoff.
Um, I don't know how much that knockoff was gonna do to Latias though. Um, maybe
I'll go check.
maybe like it was gonna do like 50 or 60%, but I think maybe Jaro wanted that damage on Latias so that Mamoswine could revenge after. Because really, if he had a Z move, I think going for that would have been the more optimal play.
I
But
think knockoff would have done around 58% ish.
yeah, I think either that or Jaro predicted Hunted to kind of swap out, and so there goes Jaro's Pangoro. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see its full set.
I think we're finally going to see Empoleon come out now.
Empoleon could come in here, but that kind of brings in the Nidoking or the Mamo. As if they're not going to come out anyways, but I think the optimal play might be to bring in the Scolipede.
Yeah, maybe. That's true, yeah.
But you're right, Empoleon could easily come in here. Empoleon didn't show an item yet, so he could actually be like the Shucka Berry. But Scolipede comes in instead.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's
Especially
just,
if he has to protect you.
yeah, it's just the more offensive play if Hunter wants to keep up the pressure. Because he might have to Z move right now. And if he does, then it just means that Mega Lottie can clean up in the late game.
Yeah. Might see a Psychic here from Nidoking. I don't know.
Well, Nidoking doesn't actually get... Nidoking gets like Confusion, but he doesn't actually get Psychic.
Okay,
well, he gets Flamethrower, right? So that he could go for that. But I think even an Earth Power would might do the trick. I'm not sure. I think Hunter was...
It should be a close one. Yeah.
Yeah, Hunter was smart not setting up Scolipede actually, because Mamoswine can just revenge with Life Orb Ice Shard. So the thing is, Jaro has to sack something to to a Z move right now.
Yeah. This Mamoswine is a problem for Huntah right now.
Mm-hmm. So we could see the Z superpower right here. Oh, we actually see the Swords Dance instead. And there's the Brave Bird taking out the... that's unfortunate for Huntah, honestly. But a very nice play on Jaro's part. Kind of being more offensive with his Skarmory. And now Huntah gets to clear these rocks. It might not matter.
Either that or put his own rocks. I don't know.
His own rocks might be better. but he could be trying to get Rotom in for free. Because why not go into Rotom there and fire off an overheat, right?
Yeah.
It's interesting, actually. I would have thought maybe Huntah wanted to keep up the offensive pressure because going into Rotom there would have been a free overheat, and that would have done a lot of damage to anything. But I guess Huntah also thought that Jaro can't switch because of the water type move. He kind of has him in
Mhm.
check right now.
Well, if Nidoking takes it, I think Nidoking can come in here.
Yeah, I don't think he wants Nidoking to take it though. I also think that Nidoking is close to actually winning if this Empoleon gets weakened.
Yeah,
With
especially if he scarf, like you said.
that, with if he Scarf Poison Jab or Scarf Sludge Wave. So I'm gonna be interested to see what this Skarmory wants to do. Maybe he goes for a Whirlwind. Um, but like you said, maybe Hunter wants to clear these rocks. I think we actually see
Oh,
an
there you go.
agility. Oh, an
Because
offensive.
we haven't seen any Z move as of yet. So
You're right. An agility. That's interesting. Having an offensive Empoleon, and we see a Hydro Pump. That does a lot of damage.
and the life orb, yeah,
Oh wow. That could be the game.
yeah. If he hits them all, that should be game, yeah. Because Ice Shard shouldn't kill.
Hmm. Well, this Empoleon could also have like Aqua Jet.
Well,
I
does need two more hits, so at 11%. I don't know if Ice Shard kills at 11%.
it probably
Because
well
Mamo can maybe, yeah, it's gonna be close.
it is Life Orb. Um, what's interesting is that Jaro put this Empoleon into Torrent range, so um, like he's gonna fire off some Torrent boosted Hydro Pumps. Not like he really needs the Torrent, but um, it's still gonna be doing a lot
I
of
think at
damage.
this point, Jar will probably wish for a crit on the Ice Shard on Lottie. I think that's
It was a
all it's
nice
gonna.
beam. So Huntah actually still has 3 more hits with this Empoleon. Very nice set that Huntah actually brought.
Yeah, Nidoking has to come in here.
Yeah, I wouldn't have expected an offensive Empoleon to really do some work in this match, but proved me wrong.
Yeah, that's a nice set for sure. Yeah, I
So
think Nidoking needs to come here.
yeah,
Yeah, so hopefully Mamo can kill with the Ice Shard.
yeah. Thing is that if Huntah has Aqua Jet as well, then it doesn't even matter.
That's true. Yeah.
But I don't think he has the Aqua Jet. I don't think he would be physical. He could be though.
Yeah, this should be an Hydro Pump here.
Yeah. Depending on Huntah's spread, maybe this. Okay, so
Ooh, a
wow,
nice beam.
I can't believe how much that did.
I can't believe that one shot either.
Yeah. That's. I think that's game. That's definitely gonna be game.
Yeah, it depends if Ice Shard kills here. Then maybe he gets a crit.
Ooh,
Oh
he
no, there
actually
you go.
lives
Yeah, it's
it,
GG.
and that's gonna be the game. So that's gonna be it, guys.
Nice.
It's gonna be a 2-0 for Huntah, and actually Empoleon picking up the last 3 kills there, which I didn't expect. But a good match to both these coaches. It came down close for sure. A couple of misreads and a couple of maybe some hacks in Huntah's favor, but either way, that's gonna be the game, guys.